Hey, what's up? Welcome to today's video. Today the market is going sideways as usual, but with that being said, we got a very interesting chart here by Plan B showing something that happened now for Bitcoin. And in the previous two times that it happened, every time we pretty much touched the bottom in the market. And you can see there were two other times that it wasn't a bottom, but then after that point, Bitcoin went up significantly. So he shares some very simple metrics to look at, which definitely looks very bullish for Bitcoin. Not a little bit bullish, man, like very bullish. Possible that we hit the bottom already. Now, Facebook just acquired their first blockchain startup called Chainspace, a smart contract development platform. So Facebook said that they hired employees from Chainspace, but they're not acquiring any of Chainspace technology. But anyways, Facebook is definitely moving into the crypto sphere. They're definitely coming after your crypto. You better watch out for Zucks. And Facebook has been a very innovative company historically, in my opinion at least, and it's not surprising to see that they recognize the huge potential that crypto has, right? Now, Kraken Exchange just announced that they launched future trading via a 9-figure deal and will soon close their fundraising rounds at a valuation of $4 billion, and that they have 100 developers and growing. So they're kind of shielding themselves, which is fair. It's cool to see them growing even in this bear market. Pretty big deal for Kraken. Now, also we have Larry Cermak on the other end. I saw a report that they're doing a raise at the final valuation of $4 billion. Then I also saw another report that they're doing an evaluation of $10 billion. I'm confused. I wouldn't be surprised if they're confused too, because both of those tweets are by them. So yeah, pretty confusing. And Larry Cermak from the Block Crypto saying, "LOL, $10 billion valuation for Kraken." Maybe if repeated enough, people will actually start believing it. So he's kind of making fun of them. And they raised $100 million from crypto OGs to fund random guys who trade and believe in the company. So yeah, and he says if they actually invested in a valuation of $10 billion, then he would congratulate Kraken for pulling this off. And I don't know if Kraken is worth 10 billion, but you have to admit that's a pretty high figure. I mean, Coinbase, I saw last valuation was 8 billion last year. Anyways, let's get started. What's up? My name is Dvir on the Cryptosphere. We'll make news videos on this channel every single day. Today, market is going sideways. We're waiting for Bitcoin and as a result, the entire market to take a move. Are we going to go up or are we going to go down? We got some coin. It's called Bitcoin with 2i, Bitcoin, pumping 170%. Nice to see some altcoins pumping in the bear market. Metaverse pumping, Pundix, Holochain, Aurora. And yeah, altcoins are slightly down, nothing too serious. So just another sideways day in crypto, which we've seen a lot of recently. Now, Plan B, why so bullish? What is his argument? Bitcoin is 15 months away from the next halving, which is going to be in May 2020. And we also had a 25% difficulty adjustment and November to December in 2018. So that when it happened like 2 months ago, time to moon. So if you actually look at the chart, it's actually a pretty impressive chart. So you can see here in green, those are the times when we were 15 months away from the next Bitcoin block halving, right? So you can see it happened here and then here. And then now it's happening here, right? We're 15 months away. And also the second thing that happened is that the block mining, the difficulty adjustment for the hash rate went down 25%. So every time that happened, he put a red dot here. And you can see that every time we have a red dot here, the price went up significantly. So that's 4 times before. And when you take into consideration also when we were 15 months away from the next Bitcoin block halving, which happened only twice, so it's only 2 data entries, right? It's not conclusive at all. I mean, even 4 points is not that much. But hey, it's better than nothing. And it does look like it makes a lot of sense, right? So when it did happen, it was pretty much around the bottom of every bear market. So this definitely looks bullish for the crypto market, and I would not be surprised if we hit the bottom already. And I'm not sure. We covered different opinions. We got people like Murad that are very bearish, and we covered this opinion, which looks very bullish. And I don't know, but I will say that historically, when Bitcoin was down 80-something% from the all-time high, buying it was a pretty good idea. You know what I mean? So you could argue that, and if you think in the long term, that it becomes kind of obvious. At the end of the day, we know what we think Bitcoin valuation is in the long term, and we know the price right now, and we could make a decision based on that if we're investing in the long term. Now, Google just released a software called Blockchain ATL. ETL. So they're developing the software for a while now to analyze Bitcoin and Ethereum transactions and their data. So this is part of Google Analytic platform called BigQuery. And Google's goal in this case is basically to have some more data available and to understand more what's happening on the blockchain. So they're saying here that to understand that in order to reach mainstream adoption, we would need to have some more. He believes that in order to go mainstream, blockchain users will have to forego some of their anonymity. It cannot be as anonymous as it is now, bro. We need some more privacy. I don't know if I agree with that argument. I know a lot of people probably won't be too happy with this argument. But yeah, Google, Facebook, Amazon, these companies are coming into the space. Those giants are entering the space. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, also, we got the shirt here that Pump always shields. It says long Bitcoin, short the bankers, which is a pretty good meme when you think about it. He's been drilling it into our head all the time with his Twitter, with his tweets, right? Now, he apparently decides to make a shirt out of it, and someone tweeted, just got this bad boy out. Again, I wouldn't wear a Bitcoin shirt in public. You're just inviting trouble. You're just telling people that you might be holding Bitcoin, and I wouldn't do it, but up to you, right? With that being said, pretty cool shirt. Now, Peter McCormack here shows off that his podcast has more daily active users than the top 8 Ethereum decentralized applications combined. Short word computer, long podcast. So that's pretty funny. He says top 8 dApps combined daily user is just below 4,000. And then his podcast daily average listeners is more than 4,000. So that's pretty funny. And then he says Peter Coin ICO coming. And with that being said, it does give us an idea of just how early dApps are. And we might look at this in 20 years and be like, you know, having a dApp in 2019 was kind of like, I don't know, it's just way too early. It was like 5 years too early or something like that. It's hard to know. Like the timing question is so hard to get when it comes to technology and to a lot of things in life, to be honest. Now, we got Chris here with an interesting, insightful tweet. You know, so a lot of people like to compare Bitcoin. They say it'll be like the mind space of crypto, and then we'll have a better company come along. And then also on the different side, you have a Bitcoin maximalist that's saying that Bitcoin will be the only one, you know, think from a mining mindset. So he says the truth is somewhere in between. So some people look at Bitcoin from a technology mindset, you know, like a company. They're saying like, oh, it's like MySpace. It's going to be old. It's ugly. We're going to have a successor. And then other people say, look, if you look at money, if you look at store of value, then it makes sense that Bitcoin will be the only one. Now, the thing is that Bitcoin is somewhat a mix of both, really. It's not purely a tech company, and it's not purely just money as we know it. I mean, it is money. It's just not money as we think of money in 2019. So it's probably somewhere in between. And yeah, you want to have an open mind. And I definitely think that there are going to be some altcoins that are going to have a big use case in the future and some actual strong fundamentals. But I just don't think they're going to be competing with Bitcoin on the store of value niche. Now, this is an interesting thing. Someone took a screenshot. He reorganized the best his iPhone apps on his computer, and he grouped them in a very interesting way. So he took, what's it called? Like the 7 sins, the 7 deadly sins or something like that. Envy, gluttony, greed, sloth, vanity, ref, FOMO, and YOLO. And he basically took the most popular apps and he put them and he divided them into those circles. So that's actually pretty interesting to see how modern apps really are built towards it. By the way, I don't know why he put the Pleco learning Chinese app under Envy. I guess he was just too lazy. But anyways, it is pretty interesting when you think how much these sins really reflect in the big apps that we use on a day-to-day basis. And by the way, last week I made a decision. I uninstalled those social media from my phone, like Facebook, WhatsApp, Line, Telegram, Instagram. It's pretty fun. I like it. I did it for productivity, but there are also other benefits besides that. And yeah, those apps are just built to drain us pretty much, right? Which is not a bad thing. I mean, it could be fun, but they are built to take as much of our time and as much control of us as possible. Now, also, according to Dan here, the Ethereum and Bitcoin scam giveaways, the Twitter giveaways, pretty much are gone. So now in this bear market, maybe, you know, the stupid money is out of the market, the dumb money, right? Maybe the hackers, like, you know, there's much less hype about cryptocurrencies, but people mostly stopped posting those scam giveaways that we've seen before, which is pretty interesting, right? People can say that this is a very bearish indicator, like that the market sentiment is very bearish, right? So that's pretty interesting. Now, Mr. Mahmoudov here talks about corporations and institutions, about people that think, oh, Google wouldn't want Bitcoin to succeed, or Facebook, or Coinbase. And then he says that those companies are made up of individuals who stand to benefit massively from Bitcoin adoption. So realizing that every group or entity is made of self-motivated individuals is key to realizing why Bitcoin will succeed. The way Bitcoin works is basically every time somebody buys Bitcoin, he kind of becomes like a Bitcoin shill to some extent. He might not go and annoy his friends, right? Like some of us, but he become kind of like a Bitcoin supporter because he just put his money in it, so his incentives are aligned with that. So if people in Google, if people in Coinbase, Facebook, they have Bitcoin, they are naturally incentivized to Bitcoin success, right? So yeah, guys, that's it for this video. I know it was kind of short today. Before we wrap up, I'd just like to invite you to attend the webinar that I'm doing, in which I'm going to share with you 7 secrets to become a better crypto investor. So if you're curious about finding tops and bottoms better, finding like better entry points and exit points, and just really understand what's it like to be a crypto investor, check out this webinar. I'm going to share with you some things that would have saved me tens of thousands of dollars if I knew them when I got started in the space 2 years ago. I'm not even kidding. And I'm going to give it to you for free. So make sure to check it out. We're going to talk about what I noticed that separates the people that make millions in crypto from the people that lose all of it. And it's not necessarily timing. So we're also going to talk about different investment strategies, how to outperform just hodling, comparing Bitcoin to altcoins, and how to evaluate cryptocurrencies and really master cryptocurrencies and crypto investing. We also talk about the Lightning Network, how to evaluate the Bitcoin network, tons and tons of value in it. So make sure to check it out. I'll put a link in the description. It's going to be the second link in the description. And yeah, look forward to see you there. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video too. Bye-bye. Much love.